Are you able to find some non-traditional answers on that question?
Absolutely. Some alternative theories suggest that the pyramids might have been built using more advanced techniques, like the use of water lubrication to move the stones more easily, or even the idea that they used internal ramps or spiral ramps inside the structure. There are also more speculative theories that involve lost ancient technologies or even extraterrestrial assistance, though those are definitely more on the fringe side of things.
Can you give me details about lost ancient technologies? How many theories are there?
Definitely. There are quite a few theories out there. Some suggest that ancient civilizations might have had access to advanced machinery like sophisticated cranes or even electricity, which could have helped in lifting and shaping massive stones. Other theories propose the use of lost knowledge like precise geometry or acoustics to help with construction. Some even entertain the idea of ancient hydraulic tools or resonant frequencies to aid in moving heavy blocks. Overall, the number of theories is pretty large and they range from the plausible to the highly speculative.
Are you able to do calculations which of these theories are more probable or not?
I can definitely help analyze and compare the plausibility of different theories based on available evidence, historical context, and engineering principles. While I can't assign exact probabilities in a strict mathematical sense, I can definitely provide a reasoned analysis and weigh the evidence for each theory. Feel free to let me know which ones you're most curious about.
Give me please five most probable, plausible theories about lost ancients building of pyramids.
Absolutely. Here are five of the more plausible theories. One, manual labor and ramps. The most widely accepted theory is that large teams of workers used straight or spiral ramps to transport the stone blocks up to higher levels of the pyramid. Two, water lubrication. Some researchers propose that the builders might have used water to reduce friction and help slide the stones more easily across the desert floor. Three, lever and counterweight systems. Another theory is that the builders used lever systems and counterweights to lift and position the heavy blocks, making the process more efficient. For internal ramps, some scholars suggest that instead of external ramps, the Egyptians might have built internal ramps within the pyramid itself, spiraling upward as the construction progressed. And then five, acoustic or vibrational techniques. There are some more speculative theories that the ancient builders might have used sound or vibration to reduce the friction of the stones as they move them. Each of these theories has its own strengths and evidence supporting it, and they're often considered in combination rather than in isolation.
What are the evidences of acoustic or vibrational techniques?
The idea of acoustic or vibrational techniques is definitely more on the speculative side, but proponents point to a few intriguing pieces of evidence. For example, some researchers have noted that certain ancient structures, like the pyramids, have unique acoustic properties where sound can resonate or produce certain frequencies. There are also theories suggesting that the ancient Egyptians might have been aware of the principles of sound waves and could have used them to reduce friction when sliding stones. However, direct archaeological evidence for these techniques is limited, and much of it is based on interpretations of acoustic phenomena and the structure's geometry. It's a fascinating concept, though, and it definitely adds a layer of mystery to how the pyramids were built.
I don't care about archaeological evidences for these techniques, but I care about physics and engineering part of this. Can you compare this approach with physics and other facts?
Got it. From a physics and engineering perspective, the idea of using acoustic or vibrational techniques would revolve around reducing friction between the stone and the surface it's moving on. The basic principle would be that certain frequencies or vibrations could create a thin layer of air or reduce the adhesion between the stone and the ground, making it easier to slide heavy blocks. When comparing this to more conventional methods like ramps or levers, the traditional approaches rely on straightforward mechanical advantage using ramps to gradually lift stones to higher levels or levers to lift them incrementally. Those methods are more directly grounded in well understood physics like leverage and friction reduction through simple mechanical means. While acoustic methods could theoretically reduce friction, they would likely be more complex to implement and control on such a massive scale. So while it's an interesting concept, it's not as straightforward as, the more traditional mechanical methods.
Can you turn off your mimic and give me scientific physics answer on that?
Understood. From a purely physics standpoint, the concept of using acoustic or vibrational techniques would involve the application of specific frequencies to create minimal friction, potentially by generating a thin layer of air or reducing the contact force between the stone and the ground. In theory, this could reduce the coefficient of friction and make it easier to move heavy blocks. However, from an engineering perspective, the scale of the pyramid construction would make it challenging to consistently apply such techniques. The forces involved in moving massive stones would require precise control of frequency and amplitude, and it would be difficult to maintain that over long distances and large construction sites. In contrast, traditional methods like ramps, levers, and pulleys are more straightforward and rely on well-established mechanical principles, making them more practical for large-scale construction. So while acoustic techniques are an interesting theoretical possibility, they are less practical compared to more conventional mechanical methods.
How about the melting theory?
The melting theory suggests that the stones might have been softened or partially melted to make them easier to shape and transport. This could involve using high temperatures, possibly with some kind of ancient furnace or a method of heating the stones to a point where they become malleable. From a physics perspective, this would require extremely high temperatures, especially for materials like granite or limestone, which have high melting points. It would also need a significant amount of fuel and control over temperature, which would be quite challenging with the technology available in ancient times. While it's an interesting concept, there's limited evidence supporting the idea that the ancient Egyptians or other civilizations used melting techniques for pyramid construction. Most evidence and engineering principles point more toward mechanical and manual methods. Nonetheless, it's a fascinating idea to consider from a theoretical standpoint.
How about the levitation method?
The levitation theory posits that ancient builders might have used some form of anti-gravity or levitation to lift the massive stones. This idea often involves theories about electromagnetic fields or even some kind of unknown ancient technology that could counteract gravity. From a physics standpoint, modern science doesn't support any known method of levitation that could be applied on such a large scale with the technology of ancient civilizations. The gravitational forces involved in lifting large stone blocks would be enormous, and there's no credible evidence of technologies that can achieve that. While it's a popular idea in speculative discussions and alternative archaeology, it remains firmly in the realm of theory rather than established science. That said, it's definitely intriguing to explore how ancient builders might have been able to achieve such monumental feats.